It's here to take a look at one of your email questions. And here's the question. My neighbor is running a daycare out of her house, but she doesn't have a lot of help. If one of the kids wanders into my yard and gets hurt while I'm at work, will I be responsible? And that question comes from Johnny. That is a great question. I would be very concerned about that because you don't know what's happening if you're at work and that's your yard.
Yeah, Dawn, here's what I'd tell Johnny if he were in my office is it's going to depend, but the state has some regulations for daycares and you can't just run them, willy-nilly or however you want to say it. But here's the real issue. Let's say a child is under 7 and he comes onto your property, whether he's from a daycare or from your neighbor, and something happens and he gets hurt and you want to say it's the child's fault. Well, Mississippi has the rule of 7s, and if that child's 7 years or younger, he cannot be found at fault under the law in Mississippi. If he's 7 to 14, he's presumed not to be at fault, and then over 14, he can be at fault just like a regular adult. So it's going to depend on the child's age, it's going to depend on what happens, but you could still go back after the daycare and point the finger at them and say that they were negligent, they negligently supervised the child, because truly when the child is in their care, the daycare is responsible.
Very good advice. I didn't know that about the ages. And then the other thing, we do just have a responsibility to take care of our property so that no one can say that we were negligent of something like a hole in the yard or some swimming pool not being fenced or something like that. So we do have a responsibility. Cover our bases too.
We have to take reasonable steps about things that we knew about or should have known about, and that's fair. What we're not is an absolute insurer. I mean, I own a house, I own a property, I have a business, I don't want anybody getting hurt there and suing me if I had no way of knowing it. But if I should have taken reasonable steps and somebody gotten hurt, then yeah, I could be at fault.